Hello, everyone. Hi, Cheryl Arkle from Better Reading. Hi, readers. I'm here on my own today because our office is in Sydney and we're all working from home because we've had a COVID outbreak. So it's just me and one other in the office, and Jasmine's here and she's wearing a mask. So if you're in Sydney, that's what we're all doing. And if you're not in Sydney, you're lucky at the moment. Okay. This is our new world, right? So you know how it works. We'll tell you what we're reading. I'll tell you what I'm reading. And you tell us what you're reading. Okay. So shall we get started? Hello, everyone. Cheryl Arkle, Better Reading, and I'm going to get started. Okay, wow, this is our book of the week this week. Hi, Jane. Jane is at home and she's watching, Jane Tara. And there she is right there. Lynette, hi. Emma, hi. Thank you, Emma. We are all safe. I'm going to talk about Zakiya Dalila Harris, and this book is called The Other Black Girl. It is such a good book. Tell me, any of you who have read it. I recorded a podcast with her not so long ago. She was so delightful. This is debut fiction. She's very young. She actually worked in a publishing house for a couple of years, and this is the idea of this book came from that because it was only her and one other black girl that were working on her floor or in her department. It's really dark. It's funny. It's furiously entertaining. And I think it's a knockout debut fiction novel. And I think you will agree. Anyway, it's our book of the week this week. Look out for it. I really want to know what you think of it, actually. And the podcast will be coming out soon. All right, now let me get through some of these comments because there are so many of them. Jane is here at the other end on comments. So Linda, hi. Yes, Jasmine's in the background, so hi to Jasmine. Hi, Alison. Hi, Christine. Hi, Amirin. She's reading The Midnight Library. Mirin's reading The Midnight Library. Barb, hi, Cheryl. Hi, Barb. Hi, Anita. Hi, Mary. Gosh, we're all here today. Carolyn, hi. Tracy, hi. Linda Fisher is enjoying reading Half-Life by Gillian Cantor. Melissa, Scary Times in Sydney, absolutely. Might start Nicola Moriarty's new book. Well, that's a good thing to be doing. Okay, you start reading that and tell us what you think. Linda is going to be reading The Other Black Girl. Please do and let us know what you think. Cynthia says, hi, everyone. Wynne is reading The Beautiful Fall. It's different. I'm also going to talk about Fiona Macintosh. This is Fiona Macintosh's new book, right, Mirror Man. Now, this is part of her crime series, and it's book 3 in that series. It's the third book, as I just said. It's DCI Jack Hawksworth, gritty, action-packed. I know a lot of you are reading it at the moment, and it's had some great feedback from you guys, and you might, of course, all of you know Fiona from her historical fiction books, and her last one was The Champagne War. So she's doing 2 books a year at the moment. She's working very hard. I recorded a podcast recently with her, and she is working hard. She told me that. So I can confirm that. I'm just going to put these books over here and put that over there. What else have we got? Jill, The Last Guest is what she's reading by J.P. Pomare. That's the preview copy and you're loving it. Great. For those of you that want to sign up to preview, don't forget, it's just subscribing to our newsletter and then signing up for each preview as it comes up. Terry is reading Too Much Lit by Melissa Lachenko, which I think won the Seller Prize a few years back. Right, what else have we got? Let me see. Natalie, hi Natalie, still reading Rosamund Pilcher's Coming Home as life has gotten in the way this week, so I haven't had a chance to do much reading. I hear you, Natalie. It's been like that this week for all of us. Okay, now we talked about Pamela Hart last week, but I do want to talk about it again because you guys have started to read it and loved it, and I loved her digging up dirt. This is a departure for her as well, and she's writing what we're calling cozy crime or cozy mystery, and it's about a person who's renovating their house and they find a dead body. Really well written, funny, feel good, if you like. for a crime novel. And she's a really wonderful writer. I really like her. So that's called Digging Up Dirt by Pamela Hart. Okay, tell us what you're reading and we'll tell you what we're reading. Jenny says, hello, Cheryl, and hello, Jane at home, and Jasmine. Hi, Jasmine. And Jenny's reading The Spiral by Ian Ryan. Lynette's reading Lovebirds. Sierra just finished The Plague by Albert Camus. Loved it. Yeah, wow, that's a classic. Nita just started to read No Country Woman by Zoya Patel. Malvina, hi Malvina, is reading Shuggie Bain. Was a gift from my son and my daughter-in-law. Well, that's a nice gift. They must know you very well. Bron is reading A Little Life. Wow, that's been out for a little while now. Yes, it is sad. Cheryl, hi Cheryl, How to Mend a Broken Heart by Rachel Johns. We love Rachel. This is another person we love. We've talked about Ruhi a little bit. Ruhi Lee, she lives in Melbourne. This is a memoir, Good Indian Daughter, which we've all enjoyed in the office. Ruhi, it's really funny yet heartbreaking memoir about growing up with the weight of her family's expectations on her. She unpacks her childhood trauma, knowing she was never going to be the good Indian daughter. It's really heartfelt. I recorded a beautiful podcast with her as well and asked her if her parents had read the memoir. Now, I'm not going to tell you the answer to that because you're going to have to listen to the podcast. Now, speaking of podcasts, please, I know some of you have already, please jump onto Apple and review our podcast. Give us a star rating, give us a written review, a good one we hope, because if the more reviews we get, apparently, the more we get pushed up somehow. I don't know how, but it's good for us is what I'm trying to say. So please do that. Karen, hi Cheryl, hi Jane at home. 30 pages left of Jam Queens, can't wait. Yes, everybody has loved the Jam Queens. Angela is currently reading Love Objects by Emily Maguire and loving it. Such a beautiful book. You know, I've said this a million times. I do Pilates with Emily. I just love her. And really, sometimes I don't feel like going to Pilates, but knowing that Emily's going to be there is kind of an incentive, if you like, for me to get there. So there you go. Linda's about to start Hell of a Book by Jason Mott. Jane Harvey, she's just finished Mad Men, Bad Girls by Maggie Jeff, now reading The Last Song by Nicholas Sparks. Stay safe. Thank you, Jane. And everybody else out there, stay safe. Now, last night, these two hilarious people did our Facebook Live. Don't forget, Facebook Live, Wednesday night, 8 o'clock. It's called The Pickup, husband and wife team, Fiona Harris and Mike McLeish. It was really funny. I know a lot of you were watching and enjoying it. I thought it was hilarious. It took a minute for them to realise that the camera was on, and typical kind of husband and wife scenario. But you will remember this couple because they've written another, their previous book was The Drop-Off. Okay, and that's out now. Okay, Karen Slaughter's got a new one, False Witness. It's a standalone. It's dark, it's compelling. You won't be disappointed. If you love Karen Slaughter, you will love this book. And you know her previous books, and I'm just going to hold some of those up. I know that a lot of you are big fans of Karen Slaughter. Joanne just watched you on Instagram. Wow, double take. Yeah, you know. I do, and I do them live. So I did the Instagram at 1:30, but that's a slightly shorter segment, and then we do the Facebook Live. So thank you. Thanks for your feedback. Just so you know, Jane's working from home. We're all working from home because we're Sydney-based, and we've had a COVID outbreak. I'm actually fully vaccinated, and Jasmine's in the office wearing a mask. You guys everybody needs to get vaccinated. Let's get vaccinated. So hopefully we're not doing this the same time next year. Donna loves books. Thank you, Donna. She's just starting The Last Train to Berlin by Melanie Hudson and just finished The Lovebirds, which she enjoyed immensely. Thanks, Donna, for sharing that. There are so many of you out there, and I've just lost my place, so let me find it. And I don't have Jane here to help me out. I think I've just found my space. Okay, Judy is reading Hamnet by Maggie O'Farrell. She is such a good writer. I think I might have told you this. I had lunch with her, when she released her first book many, many years ago. And she was so delightful back in the day when we could travel as well. So I haven't had lunch with many authors lately. Anyway, Angela also just finished The Family Doctor by Deborah Oswald, a great read. I think that was Deborah's breakout book, actually, a really good read. I agree with you. Speaking of good books, we've got so many. We Were Not Men by Campbell Mattinson. I spoke to him the other day, a podcast, extraordinary story. This is his first book. It's taken him years to write it, but it's really beautifully written. It's really powerful, and it's a moving story of twin brothers, John and Eden, as they grow up and begin to understand what it's like to be men and what it takes to knit their family back together. Really gorgeous book. I'm sure a lot of you have read it out there, so let me know what you think. What else have we got? Emma, The Last Thing He Told Me by Laura Dave. It was a good read and a fast read, Emma says. Christine is just finished Mirror Man by Fiona Macintosh. Oh, well, that was a segue if there is one. Oh, no, I've already done that book, so no segue. Jane thinks I'm hopeless at segues, and maybe she's right. Great read by this very talented Aussie author. Yes, Fiona Macintosh is very talented. Okay, what do I need to tell you? Oh, right. This is what I need to tell you. The Australian. Don't forget, every week, every Saturday, we are in the Australian called Notable Books. And as you can see, I'm collecting all the paper copies. I don't know how long we've got this gig for, but maybe, you know, once we fill up the office with the weekly newspaper, we might have to move. But anyway, that's what's happening there. And also, have you voted for the kids' top 50? Have you voted for the top 50 kids' books? Please vote and tell us what your favourite kids' book is. And do you know, just simply by voting, you go into the draw to win 7 packs of all the 50 books that win. So that's a great prize. Joanne is reading classic Nancy Mitford, Love in a Cold Climate, having just finished The Pursuit of Love. Suzanne says, hi. Christine, I'm reading Mirrorland by Carolyn Johnson at the moment. The Other Black Girl is next on my list. Put it on your list. Karen is reading The Last Dance by Fiona Macintosh. Love her books. I don't think I've met a person that doesn't like Fiona Macintosh's books. Mary is reading Good Indian Daughter. Excellent read. Also Malibu Rising. Great. I'm glad you're enjoying the Good Indian Daughter, Mary. Kaz is reading The Bone Code by Kathy Reichs. Now, I do want to talk about that. That is a segue, isn't it, Jane? That is a segue. I want to talk about that because I spoke to Kathy and the podcast is out. Kathy has loved the podcast too and shared it on her Twitter account. But just so you know, we talked at length because Kathy Reichs is herself a forensic pathologist. That's her day job, and she's also a lecturer at university, and she writes books. So I wanted to talk about that today, and just there you go. Thank you so much, Kaz, for bringing it up. All right, what Anne says, hi, Anne. Tracy's downloaded The Drop-Off and The Pickup last night. Yes, after watching them. I mean, you couldn't not. Actually, you know what I want to talk about? Last night, a lot of people were talking about covers of books, right? And the conversation was had, I guess, about whether you judge a book by its cover. Tell me what you think. Tell me how important covers are to you. Publishers spend a lot of time and money choosing book covers, and I'd just be really curious. I don't know if we've had this conversation, but let me know how compelling a cover is, and is that a factor? Is it the cover? Is it the blurb? What is it that makes you pick up a book? Or is it a known author? Or is it the storyline? But how important is a cover? I love covers myself, but I'm just wondering what you like. Okay, Barb says she's never read any of Fiona's. They sound like my kind of book. Barb, you've got to get onto Fiona Macintosh, and there's quite a few, so you'll be very happy that there'll be enough to get through. Rachel is reading The Getaway, the 8th book by a lovely UK writer called Isabel Broom. Linda said she loved Digging Up Dirt, yes, by Pamela Hart. Mary said she might read it on audio, yes. Christine is reading Mirrorland by Carol Johnson and loving it. Suzanne just finished Shiver and The Last Goodbye by Fiona Lucas. Cynthia just started The Last Guest and arrived today, preview copy. Great, and enjoy it. Anne nearly finished You Need to Know by Nicola Moriarty. Emma, onto an Emotion of Great Delight by Tarara Murphy, also absolutely brilliant and beautiful. Jane enjoying Private Rogue by James Patterson. Marianne O'Connor, the author. Hello, Marianne. Welcome. She's about to start The Codebreaker by Ali Sinclair. I've been so looking forward to it, but don't like to read while I'm writing. So her new manuscript is in, so it's now time to read. Well, you enjoy your reading time, and don't forget to get back to your writing, right? Because we love the fact that Marianne is writing. Jill loved Good Indian Daughter. I'm so glad. Kozia is reading Half-Life by Gillian Cantor. Anne is also enjoying Digging Up Dirt. Suzanne just started Home Like Ours by Fiona Lowe. Fiona's usually joining us on a Thursday as well. Mary, I love Objects too. And she's going to read it, which is great. Yvonne says, love your program. Oh, thank you, Yvonne. We love feedback. Now, what else do I have? I have so much. Let me get it. We have talked about Sarah Winman before, Still Life. I'm only bringing it up again because I know a lot of you have commented about it. Speaking of covers, I mean, isn't this a gorgeous cover? So tell me about covers. Don't forget to talk to me about covers and tell me what you like. So this is when a soldier and an art historian meet in Florence in 1944. Their lives are intertwined for the next 4 decades. Really perfect for fans at VM Foster, A Room with a View, and perfect armchair travel. And it appears we're going to be doing quite a bit of armchair travel for the next few months at least. Okay, what else is happening out there? Karen reading Sweet, Sweet Revenge. Carolyn just finished A Long Call, 2 Rides by Anne Cleves a couple of days ago. Nice, easy crime read, which I enjoyed. Isn't it great when you get a book that you can just go, it just keeps you going from the very beginning, and an easy read. I always like to mix mine up. Now, listen, I'm just trying to find my spot, so bear with me. Here I am. Joanna's reading The Drop-Off at the moment. I hope you saw the event last night. If you didn't, Joanne, it's recorded and you can go back and watch. Jo currently reading A Million Things by Emily Spur and loving it. Ruth reading Indian Cousins Trilogy by Wanda E. Brunster. Mary, oh, that's why Jane is at home. Miss her. Take care in Sydney. Yes, Jane is at home because we're all working from home. Megan, hello. Alison is reading The Silent Listener by Lynn Yoet, which we recommended as well. Megan is just finished How to Kill Your Husband and Other Helpful Hints by Kathy Lett. Is so funny. Hey, Megan, if you want to treat yourself, very early on during COVID, I think it was last May or something, we did a Facebook Live with Kathy Lett. It is the funniest video. She was running it from her office in the UK, in London, and she had no idea. It was a hilarious video. She's great fun, and she just went with it. Really funny. Carol just finished We Were Not Men. Oh, Carol, great. I mean, it was such a good book. Recent new favourite of Megan's, The Nancys and Nancy Businesswoman. Sandra, hi Sandra. She's reading The Dressmaker of Yarrandurra Prison. Just finished Good Indian Daughter and Thursdays at Orange Blossom. I spoke to Sophie Green today, just this morning. We recorded a podcast and that'll be out soon. Isn't she a lovely writer? Actually, all 3 of those books I loved. Oh, you read them because we love them. Okay, that's great. I'm glad, Sandra, that you are taking our book recommendations. Joanne says Kathy Wrights is one of my favourites. Have all her books. Nalima, hi Jane, recently read Take Me Home by Carly Lane. It's Cheryl, Jane's at home. Absolutely loved it. My first Carly, and will read more. Gail is reading Maria's Island, kids version of The Island by Victoria Heslop. Jane does like my segues. Yeah, right. You weren't liking them last time. Linda says, covers are very important to me. I'll buy books based solely on the cover and design. Whoa, there you go. Could that be a bit controversial? So is it that sometimes you buy books based on the cover, or is it always that you buy them based on the cover and design? Because I think mine is a bit of a mix. One, if I already know the author or somebody's told me about a book, but yes, I am very compelled to covers. Anita, a cover can make me pick up an unknown book author. That's true, actually. It can introduce you to another author, which is probably what Linda's saying as well. Mary's saying, I love a great cover, draws me in, love well-known authors. Yep. Yeah, that's true. And also sometimes you don't know if an author's got a new book out and you see cover and you recognise that that's that author. anyway, that happens too. Tracy will sometimes buy a book just because of the cover, and then I have to hope that the story is good. Absolutely. Meredith, covers are important, and the bigger the book, the better. I always check out the font too, as I don't like it too tiny. Yeah, that's harder, isn't it? But I think when you're looking at trade paperbacks, like the bigger kind of fiction books, the font is always a good size. Rita said she missed basking covers reading on my black and white Kindle. Of course, you don't get that same experience on a Kindle, but you get the story, and that's what's most important. Speaking of story, Alice Paul, 100 Days. I mean, beautiful, gorgeous writer. This is set during the 80s in working class Melbourne. 100 Days is a fractured fairy tale that explores mother-daughter relationships, identity, race and class. It really is a beautiful new novel from this author. A lot of you will know her. As you can see, this is our proof copy. We don't have a final copy yet. Did I speak about Emotional Female by Yumiko Kadota? Not sure. The podcast is out this week. This is a memoir. An extraordinary story. And look at this cover. You can tell instantly that it's nonfiction and it's probably going to be a memoir. But such an extraordinary story, a difficult story, because Yumiko was studying to be a doctor, a plastic surgeon. Plastic surgery was her specialty. And in this book, she exposes the dreadful bullying that she encountered in the workplace and, in hospitals, and the amount of hours she worked. And it all got so much that she had to leave what, was her career. And not long after leaving, she was actually admitted into hospital for depression. She speaks so honestly, candidly, and openly about her experience and her story in the hope of encouraging and helping other people. I really enjoy this. It's called Emotional Female. I know a lot of you have read it. Listen to the podcast because she's so incredibly interesting. Karen says, the cover is usually what catches my eye in a bookshop display. Then I look at the blurb. Yes. Christine says the cover is important because it will entice you to pick it up and read the blurb. That's true. It's kind of the first point of contact, if you like. Malvina says, love a good cover, love vibrant colours and lush detail as much as clean, more muted covers. I've bought a book for its cover before, like so many, made some nice discoveries that way. True. Megan, she agrees totally. Yvonne, I'm sure the cover influences my decision. However, if I know something of the book, I tend to just buy it. I agree too. So if it's not a great cover, I'll still buy it. Anne says, standout covers catching my eye for new authors, but otherwise I grab my favourite authors. Yeah, which is true. Okay, what else have we got here? So many conversations about covers. I've just lost my place. Where am I? Here I am. I don't like to miss people. Christine, the cover is important because it will entice you. Okay, I am up to there. Yvonne, I'm sure the cover influences my decision. However, if I know something of the book, I tend just to buy it. Sue is reading The Family Inheritance by Trish Stringett. Joe says covers are so important. I'll pick it up and buy a book based on its cover. Malvina said, I miss seeing the covers of my Kindle. Yes, we know. Feel slightly ripped off by that. Linda says she bought Still Life just for that stunning cover. It is a beautiful cover. Gosh, I love that book. Sally, I love the cover that stands out for me from the rest. Yeah, which is true. Joanne, a beautiful cover always attracts my eye, but it's always a story or author that I go for. Natalie, The Lost Flowers of Alice Hart is such a beautiful cover, as is The Hamilton Sisters. That is so true. Both standouts. And as I said, publishers spend a lot of time on covers. Nalima, covers attract buyers when they're just in bookshops to pick up books without a list. But when they know when they know the book, it doesn't matter. I get what you're saying there. Kylie, I love a bright, colourful and eye-catching cover. They really draw me in. I just finished something to talk about by Rachel Johns, but we'll be starting something like this by Carly Lane tonight. Wow, Kylie, you're in for a treat. Yvonne says she loves the cover of The Lost Flowers as well. Alona is reading Matt Still by Matt Navel. This is a segue, Jane. I've got Still right here. I was just about to talk about it, so thank you, Alona. This has had really mixed reviews. Most of you have loved it. Others haven't. I really enjoyed it. I really like him. He's got a kind of a laconic style in terms of storytelling. He's an actor, as you know, and it's a page-turning mystery that's set in the humid and haunting landscape of Darwin in 1963, and it's really I really like this cover as well. People have been comparing it to The Dry, of which Matt Navel acted in The Dry, in the movie. Did I get that right? Yes, I think I did. Okay, Emma says that. The cover has to stand out and grab your attention, and the blurb has to hold on to it. Perfectly said, Emma. That is perfect. Alison, pretty much everything I read these days is either by a favourite author or based on recommendation or for book club. When I happen to be browsing, I am definitely drawn to a good cover. The cover leads me to read the blurb, which may then lead me to buy the book. That makes perfect sense. Nicole is reading The Ichabod by J.K. Rowling. Heather, gosh, it's all about the colours on the cover, the feel of the raised letters of the title, and to top it off, I just adore the smell of the printed page. I mean, that is true too. I do adore that smell. Now, you can't get that on an ebook. You can't, Heather. But, you know, some people, ebooks are so convenient as well and great for travel. Now, Yvonne also loves the cover of The Lost Flowers of Alice Hart. What have we got here? Donna, the cover might make me look at a book, but the blurb is what sells it. Chantel just started The Toy Makers by Robert Dinsdale. Loving it so far. Victoria, Last Night by Mahari McFarlane. Laughed, then cried, now laughing again. What a roller coaster. Don't you love that? What else have I got? Now, listen, I've just lost my spot. I'm going to keep going. I just want to talk about Falling again because so many of you read it and loved it. I mean, it's not a big book, but gosh, it's got a lot packed in there. And Jane actually read this when she was on a flight to Brisbane, I think, and it wasn't a good idea. It's when a family's pilot is kidnapped and he must crash the plane to save his family. Anyway, there it is. It's Falling, and it's by TJ Newman, and we had them on Facebook Live one time. Anyway, a couple of weeks ago, go find it. That's it for me today. I'm just going to go through, I want to talk about this Sorry and Bliss by Meg Mason, the dark topic of mental illness, but also very funny. That's what Lois is reading. I also wanted to just point that out because I thought that was a gorgeous cover on that book. Kylie's reading The Last Bookshop in London, has a brilliant cover as well. And there is, Bianca. Hi, Bianca. I've started Early Morning Riser by Catherine Heine as an audiobook and reading Hot Stew by Fiona Mosley. Linda says she loves the smell of a new book. Okay, that's it from me. I think I've covered everything. Listen, go and get vaccinated. We need to get vaccinated so we can kind of start living a somewhat normal life. Stay safe. If you're in Sydney, don't forget to wear a mask. That's it from us. Look out for us in the Weekend Australian. Write us a review, if you can, a podcast review, and I will see you next time. I think I talked too much this time. Anyway, it's your fault, really. You guys are talking to me and I've got to talk back to you. See you next time. Bye.